Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, and welcome back to another Grand Prix reaction. This time the China Grand Prix, which we had over the weekend, which is also a sprint weekend. I didn't take in the sprints too much, I won't dive into that too much, more focus on the races this season. And of course, before we dive into anything, another really good race, and again we are learning new things, just like the drivers. As each race progresses, now this is round 2 of how the cars are going to look, how the units, the batteries, the power, how everything is being affected. So far, it looks like Mercedes and Ferrari are having a good handle on things so far. So kudos to them. Once again, they make up our top 4. But this time, a great showing and great drive from the youngster, Kimi Antonelli. It was that kind of weekend. As you can see up above me, the greatest team crest, Arsenal. Of course, we had a great weekend celebrating Max Dauman's goal. He's only 16 years old. Kimi coming in clutch with a win. You even have young Colapinto. I can never pronounce this young man's name. I will get it right. Colapinto, young as well. Even Behrman, I know he's not a teenager, but he's young as well. These youngsters giving a good showing, but we'll get into that. But big up Kimi. Great race, great driving. We even have to look at Hamilton, big up Hammy. So of course your podium was comprised of, in order, Kimi, George, and Lewis Hamilton. Well done to Lewis. I think this season we may see more of him on the podium, and we'll see a better fight from him. I have to say, I enjoyed the battle with him and Leclerc, and that is how I want certain teams, Red Bull, to see. This is how two teammates are supposed to drive, right? The radio was beautiful, the communication was nice, right? Charles said that was fun, he's enjoying it, Lewis enjoyed it. That is how you race your teammate when they're trying to go for the top spot. Well, in this case, they were battling for third. But we have to talk about the launch speed. Whew, those Ferraris are the launch speed. Once again, the same thing as the last race in Australia. Leclerc and Hamilton behind the Mercedes, and in no time they were in front. But they don't have the speed and not yet maybe the defense tactics down yet to keep the Mercedes at bay. Because once the Mercedes passed them, that is that. But we had a safety car, so that kept things interesting. We had a virtual safety car as well too. We had a few incidents. And once again too, what I like so far about these vehicles, you're touching. So even Lewis and Charles touched, I think, no, it wasn't Alonso, but there was a few moments where some cars, just like in Australia where they're interlocking, the tires were interlocked in, but thankfully no major crash outs. There's one or two like cars coming off the track and all that, but nothing, no serious, thankfully, injuries or damages, nothing serious. But the cars seem that these vehicles, these new units look like they can take little contact. So that's good. Happy to see that, right? There was even an instance with my favorite driver, Ocon, where he tried to overtake on a curve, on a bend, and touch the vehicle in front of him, and he owned up and said, you know, guys, that's my fault. So yeah, it was good. We even had some nice moments. Speaking of Ocon, Ocon was up to second. Colapinto was up to third at one point, right? So it was nice, solid racing. Good battles right through the sectors, right through the race. 9 and 10 was a good battle. 6 and, we had good battles right through the race. Even if you say 12, 11, trying to get 10th place, there were some really good battles. Sadly, just a few guys, five drivers couldn't finish. So it goes sometimes. 2 couldn't even start. So, but thankfully, as I keep saying, thankfully no serious injuries or accidents. Max had a decent fight back in Australia. He's come from 18th place virtually to finish in the top 10. But this time, however, he was doing well, was battling, was up there, up to 6th. But then that dreaded radio, what that no driver wants to hear, we have to retire the car, Max. And that was that, right? Norris this time couldn't even, Norris had to retire as well too. So again, McLaren showing some difficulty there. Both McLarens were out actually. So McLaren again showing a little, showing that they are not yet have a good handle yet on the units. It's devastating for them, of course. Let's take a look at the top 10. So top 10, Colapinto for Alpine. Then we have Sainz, quiet, doing his thing. I didn't see or hear much about Sainz, but did his thing, finished 9th. We had Hadja finishing 8th, so this time finishing the race. Very happy for him because he had a great qualifier in Australia, but of course couldn't finish in Australia, but this time getting on the points, so well done for him. We have Lawson with RB. So, right with RB, of course, in 7th place. We have Pierre Gasly. He had a very good race, finishing in 6th. Behrman, brilliant. Verhaas, 5th place. Then, of course, Charles Leclerc, 4th. Lewis Hamilton, 3rd. George Russell, 2nd. And then, of course, Kimi, 1st. Now, what does this mean for the overall driver standing? So, from 10th, we have Lindblad. Then Lawson in 9th. We have Verstappen in 8th. So I'll do that one more time. Lindblad with 4 points. Lawson with 8 points. Verstappen also on 8th. We have Pierre Gasly on 9 points in 7th. Norris in 6th with 15 points. We have Behrman. Beautiful. Nice to see the youth doing their thing in 5th with 17 points. Lewis Hamilton in 4th, 33 points. Charles Leclerc in 3rd, 34 points. Kimi, 47 points in 2nd. Of course, George Russell leading the pack on 51 points for Mercedes. I'll just call out the top 3 with the constructors. So constructors from 3, we have McLaren in 3rd, even though they did not have a good race. Last race, of course, good points from Australia, good points from the sprint. Okay, Ferrari, 2nd with 67, and Mercedes with a decent lead so far, 98 points at the top. But of course, means absolutely nothing. It is early in the season. Not going to get carried away. We can't start to declare, oh, winners and all that. No. We are far away from that. Right? Coming up next on the 29th of March, we have the Japan Grand Prix, which is at a godly time-ish, 1 a.m. This one was at 3 a.m. I didn't watch it live. I avoided spoilers whole day. It was very difficult. Could not go on Instagram. Had to avoid all social media. Watch my race, enjoyed it, and then of course do my reaction now. A few key things to take. I guess Mercedes are so far, according to Lewis's words, must say it was a great post-match interview. All 3, the top, all 3 podium. Kimi was tearful and emotional, of course. You know, George was glowing and happy for his team and happy that Mercedes on top. And Lewis, I must say, kudos to him, showed class as always. You know, gave a great shout out to Kimi, to Mercedes, and you know, congratulated them. Of course, it's Kimi's first win, so this was a big deal. And he's now a part of a special group of Mercedes drivers that won Grand Prix. So kudos to them. But I mean, takeaways, as I was saying, Mercedes so far showing that they have a good handle on the units, they have the better speed. So clearly they are the ones to catch, so to speak. And of course, once they have a good start, of course, with the qualifiers and, you know, get pole position 1 and 2, it looks like it's their race to lose. Bottom line. But of course, only 2 races to go, 2 races down so far, sorry. So I'm not going to get carried away. Ferrari, great launch speed. As I said before in the opening, they are starting races really well. And we could see that they have it. They have it in them. They are battling. They're a great team. Love to see that battle with Charles and Lewis. Even there was some nice battling with George, when George was trying to catch up to them. And that's why we got his 2nd place. It was a nice battle. Great battle in the top 4 spot. It was really good. The pitting was great, and was a one-stop strategy for some teams. So again, the strategies were put into place well, we utilized well. Ferrari, we know we normally don't put strategy and Ferrari in the same sentence, but Ferrari are looking good. It's early days, they are bound to get 1 and 2 if they keep it up and keep fighting, again, according to the words of Lewis. And yeah, I think it was so far, I think we can look forward to a really good season. 2 races down, many more to come, many more thrills and excitement to come. I love the look of some of the other teams that, you know, normally we will not probably highlight as much, but have to big up Haas and Alpine for their consistency, looking good. Not sure what's going on with McLaren. McLaren need to work on the unit. I'll probably do maybe during the week, maybe I sit down and read some stories out, some headlines, and take a look at what's been plaguing them. It'll be good to know what's happening, what's going on with them, why have they not been, what in their opinion, they feel like they have not been able to complete, both drivers completing a race. So we yet to see that, but of course the headlines, of course, Kimi winning his first Grand Prix, Hamilton with his first podium since 2024, so brilliant for him. Which his first, it's been a while since we won the podium, so I think we should get accustomed to it, especially if China is any indication of what's to come and the fight that he has, the fight that the car has, the launch speed. So they definitely need to work on the qualifying. I think if Ferrari could qualify 1-2 and just put in the right tire strategy, and of course maybe a safety car here or there, or maybe just find a way to pit properly, one sub strategy, things like that, I think they'll be fine. And if it's a reverse, well then of course try the best to battle and keep up with Mercedes. But so far Mercedes is the car to beat this season. Well, alright guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought about the race, about the show. If you're a big F1 fan, we'd love to know where you're watching from. How would you rate the two races so far? So far for me, I still love Australia. Australia to me was the best start. It was really, really good. And it gives us a great indication of what's to come. China did not disappoint. I think so far no one can complain of boring races. Really solid stuff so far. Big up to the F1 team, everyone involved, and giving us this great spectacle that we enjoy called F1. So once again guys, like, share, subscribe, comment. Love to know where you're watching from. Check out our socials as well. You can follow us there and keep up to date with all content. Take care guys.